And he's chasing his tail. He's chasing his own tail.
Only on the plane.
Yes. No, the whole thing is on there. The whole equipment reserve. So there's like your backhoe, everything, so everybody sees it to add what they need to add. So yeah, you got it. Why do I need it? Yeah. Right? Nope, you're good.
I didn't even think about those.
There's all kinds of different reserve funds on the playground, everything to like everyone kind of get together on.
How are you? So maybe we start sitting now.
Even though
And we're asking her refuse.
Yeah.
Yes, she's been ice cream phone.
Yeah, you're right. We can't look at
We cannot.
I
We can't
can't.
look at you.
You need like,
Vicers.
what you gonna say?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. For sure for next year. I don't know what she'll do her senior year, but
Maybe what you said earlier.
Mhm.
I just swear.
Yeah.
We will be swearing in
That was
Daisy Whaler to
We were
the
just
planning
talking
commission.
Yes.
I would have worked it different.
My favorite is in the sort of my and your Disney Plus, that's my favorite.
I was so embarrassed.
Super.
And I'm like, yeah.
Silence your cell phone.
Already did. You want it?
Turn Bluetooth on.
What did you say?
I'm assuming or zoning board of appeals. He's doing both. He says he's going both. I don't know what he's going to.
Okay.
Who do you have for phone service?
I'm turning on the Wi-Fi.
That's what I was gonna say because
Mine's Verizon.
I had AT&T and it's not rough. It's not rough. It's rough now.
Okay, that was it.
Okay, perfect.
Well, maybe not. Well, it's doing this again. Wish we had a hard wire.
Good evening, everyone. Just a little reminder, if you want to address the board tonight, just make sure you sign in on the sign-up sheet that's there on the podium. We're going to start in about a minute, so I'm asking everyone to make sure your phones are in silent or vibrate mode, please. All right, I believe it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please stand and join me in I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ellison, roll call.
Dave Log,
Here.
Joe Boyd,
Here.
Kevin Kelly, Phil Morris,
Here.
Natalie Shoemaker, Mitchell Tilke.
Okay, first item on our agenda is our consent agenda. It's all agenda considered to be routine and non-controversial. And we'll do it in one roll call vote. We'll also approve the minutes from the previous from our previous meeting, and the financial statements and the payment of bills for February. So first for the trustees, did we have any questions on anything for consent agenda? I had one thing I'd like to get updated in the minutes on top of page 3. The second sentence says, if we replace our infrastructure ourselves, it would cost $3 million. That is just part of the infrastructure. That is the old Transite pipes. So if we can make that modification in the minutes, I think that would be better if anybody reads it without being at the meeting. That'll help explain what that cost would be.
I wonder what the 6,900 for Patrick Meyer was paying for this time, just some survey or something that maybe,
Several things.
Okay.
It had, on that invoice, it had a $1,200 bill for Smiley's daycare for the daycare review. It had, some drainage review, detention basin review,
And then I think the,
like MFT engineer bill for the year, I believe.
Okay.
All combined in one.
Any other questions on the minutes or payment of bills, financial statements? Not, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll say,
Any final questions or discussions? Ellison, roll call.
Joe Boyd,
Yes.
Kevin Kelly, Phil Morris,
Yeah.
Natalie Shoemaker,
Yeah.
Mitchell Tilke.
yes.
Next on our agenda is the citizens hearing. Ellison, who's first?
Michael Grady.
Mike?
Thank you very much. Michael Grady, 412 North McLean in Hudson. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak tonight. I'm asking for permission to close down Front Street, front of the Sitting Bull, coming on April the 6th, will be the St. Jude fundraiser. This will be our 8th year. During the past 8 years, we have raised in excess of $200,000 for the children of St. Jude. Last year was a banner year. It's grown each year. Even during the pandemic, we still managed to be successful. But last year was $64,000 that we raised in a 4-hour period of time for St. Jude. We knew it last year and we struggled through it, but our space is not large enough. And we need to put a tent outside of the Sitting Bull, close to the Sitting Bull, during that period of time. And if you may or may not remember, last year it was extremely windy for several days prior to that, and we could not get the tent set up. To prepare for that this year, what we'd like to do is get permission that if we need to, based on weather, we can set it up on the Thursday prior to the Saturday event. Because the tent company tells us once it's up, we'll be fine. It's getting it up. And they did attempt it a couple times during that last year's event and we just couldn't get it done. So we're asking that Thursday, the 4th, be a Thursday too. And we won't close the street down. We just need one half. The size of the tent would still leave it open for other vehicles. Probably that Saturday, working with the police department, they think that Saturday best just kind of close it down so we don't have pedestrians intermingling with the others. But we talked to Hudson Grain, we talked to Prairie Storage, we talked to Childers, we talked Squire. Everybody's aware of what's coming up. Everybody's willing to help with parking. I think all of those issues will be addressed. And as I said before, we're working closely with the Hudson Police Department. So I'm asking permission for us to be able to close that down as early as Thursday if need be. I say close down, one lane, close down for that event.
Mark, you've been attending the planning meetings, haven't you?
Yes, that's correct.
And you don't see a problem with doing that again this year, do you?
No, not at all. It will be able to, I think, to accommodate that on a Thursday if necessary with the proper barricades around it, reflective and everything. So yes, it'll be fine, in my opinion.
Owners of Sit Bull, Tim and Penny are here tonight in case you had any questions for them.
I think it's a great effort. We're glad to see you do it. We want to help wherever we can. Denny, did you have any concerns?
No, I think we can give you some barricades to do that. When was that gonna be taken down, Monday, probably?
Yes, they would take the tent down on Monday morning.
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
The parking lot that's just to the, I believe, the north of the Sit Bull, is that Sit Bull parking lot? Is that their parking lot?
To the north by the town hall.
By Childers? Yeah, in town hall.
That's actually townships,
Okay,
and that's okay. That's public parking anyway. But
okay,
I can speak as township supervisor, I can speak that that's okay to park there.
I was
And
more so going to ask, if the tent was set up there, would it then make it easier for day of parking on the street, so we shut it down one day rather
issue is alcohol out on the streets. You'd have to go clear down there from the Sitting Bull, which is serving the alcohol. We want that to be right in front so that we can
than, so the tent
control,
would be right up against?
be right up against the Sitting Bull so that we can control any alcohol. We also will have help me, Penny, what's the term for a certified, facet trained employee that will be checking all IDs of this event. Obviously, the police department will be there too.
One entry, one exit.
One entry, one exit. That's the other reason we want it there as opposed to, yeah, we certainly could, from the township's perspective, we can make that happen, but I think right in front, close to it is better for all of us.
Makes sense, thank you.
any other questions from the board? Not, does anyone have any objections? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and okay it then, we're good, and if there's any other way the village can help besides getting barricades there, let us know.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on the citizens area?
Nope.
Okay, move on. Next other report for me. First item is the sewer study status. Went to Springfield, met with IEPA, had a good meeting with them a couple weeks ago. Learned several things. First, based on our medium household income for Hudson, the $5 million grant is prorated, and the most we could get on that would be $3 million, which I wasn't aware of. It's greatest rules that I missed it, so that would be the maximum we could get. I also learned the status on the $20,000 grant that they have paid half of it to us, and they're waiting on 2 forms to be completed before they will pay the rest of it to us. There's Allison, you don't have to have these for the minutes, but there are 2 forms here. One of them requires contacting IDNR, another one, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Illinois Department of Agriculture, several other state areas, and I sent this out to BCA and asked what they were charged to complete it. They came back with $5,900. So I am going to work on this and see how much of this we can get done and work with EPA and see, they understand our position that we are not near a final plan at all, and they will not help us pay for the final design at this point in time, so I will see what we can get done on our own and try to avoid that $5,900 bill for BCA, or at least get it reduced. So, that's the status on that part of it. If we do decide to proceed, there are other loan forms that we have to fill out and get in. They recommend we do that. And if we get these done, then I'll work on the other loan information.
Almost breaks math for that, assumed we get to 5 million, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have your math on how you figure we would need 18 million?
Yeah, I think I got Google somewhere, I can find it.
If you can dig that out and send that to me, that would help, because I need that information for the grants. How we would pay for it, so. We learned there are no grants available to pay for the detailed engineering study, the next study that would cost about $2 million, so. Said I was gonna contact the 3 companies that we originally worked with. I only have one of them. I don't know, Kathy, if you have the other 2 or not, in any of your folders.
They were in the boxes that I turned over.
Okay,
When I left.
so Mitchell may have those, or did you give those to Mitchell or Sarah, or?
Yeah, she provided those to me.
Okay,
I went through them, almost immediately, and at the time, didn't think we were going to need those. So I don't know that I have those. I can go check. I kept most of the sewer study paperwork. I just don't know if I kept those business cards and.
yeah,
and those, I just didn't think we would need them.
hopefully they'd be on the bottom about it. That would have been the first thing we did, so. You can check to see if you have those, that'd be good. I have Mark's work information. That was one of the 3 others, so. So, are any questions on the sewer study status? Okay, if not, next item is the planning commission status. The planning commission members have done a great job doing planning for the last couple of years, and I want to thank them. They feel that it's time to have new blood on the planning commission, so they have resigned, and we are looking for planning commission members. We have one candidate here tonight that I'll bring up shortly, and recommend him for a planning commission position. And so, I know Kevin has talked to several people, and if any of you have recommendations for planning commission members, let Mitchell and myself know, and we'll get a hold of them. I've got 2 other offers outstanding, but I haven't heard back from those people yet, so. So that's our status on the planning commission. Tonight, worked with Jason Weidler. I don't know how many of you know Jason. He's an officer on our Hudson Volunteer Fire Department. And I've asked him if he would be interested in being a planning commission member. And he has answered positively. So I'm going to recommend to the board that we vote him in tonight as a planning commission member, get him sworn in as our first one. Are there does anybody have any questions for Jason? If not, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to, nominate Jason as a Weidler. Jason Weidler to the planning commission, effective tonight.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, do we have any final discussion? No, we'll do a voice vote. A voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Jason, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for volunteering to serve on the planning commission. We'd like to come up and swear you in as a planning commission member.
You know, we did our council.
Before, we have to have more members before we can do any activity. So, can somebody get a picture?
I would have done my hair, but. I, Jason Weather,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of planning commission member
the duties of planning commission member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Joe. We'll have more members for you before your next meeting in March, I believe.
March 25th.
March 25th is the next scheduled meeting, so we will have more.
Yeah, on that topic, Dave, obviously, January 29th meeting we had to cancel as a result of this, just making the record straight for Dale's.
Good, yeah, nobody looked for minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, there are also 2 members on the zoning board that their terms have expired, and I've contacted them. One of them will be here in April, will be sworn back in. The other one I haven't heard back from yet, so we'll get him here to one of the meetings coming up, get them sworn in again. So we have an opening on the zoning board also. So if you have any ideas on people for the zoning board, let me know. Okay, I'm gonna talk about what GNS has been doing. GNS is our IT firm that we recently contracted with. So, Sarah, you wanna talk a little bit about what they accomplished?
I know that he's been out and put all of the labels on all of our computers to inventory those. He has put all of the, like virus software, not to know exactly what the exact words are, but all of that is installed. He's been coming out, just doing things a little bit at a time, just to make sure he doesn't cause any big ruffles in what we do and how it all works. So, yeah, he's been easy to work with and good to work with.
So, and we do have new security software installed
Mhm.
on all the systems. The networks, wireless networks have changed. If you use a PC here, the password has changed. So, Sarah, you must have helped everybody out.
Yeah.
Good, so, there's a GNS wiring proposal I'm gonna go ahead and talk about now. It's later on the agenda, but as he was doing everything, he noticed some potential problems with the wiring and that the connection between the 2 buildings here is a copper connection, and it should be fiber because of potential differences in voltage. So, he showed me some of the wiring problems, and I asked him to submit proposals. The proposals he sent were just under $10,000, maximum would be just under 10. It included a couple of racks. The equipment we have right now in the water department is sitting on top of a cabinet, I believe, cabinet, and some of the equipment in here is in a closet that I don't know if it's ever overheated or not. It's not the best place for it, if you've ever looked at it. So this proposal is to do all rewire, everything but the cameras, I believe. And I've asked for him to come to show us all some of the problems with the wiring. I haven't been able to set up a date when we can come, but he's available generally on Mondays and Wednesdays. So how are the trustees' schedules looking for Monday next week or Wednesday tomorrow? I don't want to do Wednesday next week because that's Valentine's Day. He's doing an EMT class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so those days are not good for him.
What time, Dave?
We could do it at 6 or 7, whatever time works best for us.
I could do it Monday.
And this is just to see what.
Yeah, probably be a 15-minute meeting, show you the wiring over here, what some of the problems are. We know there's a problem going back to Denny's office. We didn't know about until he started checking everything. There's one cable that goes back to Denny's office, and it's got a small switch back there that runs to the 2nd or 3rd computer, and that's really not a good way to do that at all. So we need more wires for that.
On that, so maybe more or less this schedule, or
I could do it evening fine, and I can do it in the morning too, like.
So I'm flexible with, I mean, I think, I'd rather,
How about next week, Monday?
yeah.
Okay, we'll do it next week, Monday, 6 o'clock here. Is that okay?
Yeah, hey, Dave, you've had discussions with GMS about the racks and whatnot. It seems like they're gonna bring in some infrastructure to host either in this building or in the water department. Is there any discussion on a cloud native solution as to not only saving us costs, but reducing the infrastructure costs that we're gonna have? I mean, you could probably move most of our content to AWS for maybe a fourth of the price. I mean,
Gonna
did they
do,
even explore that at all, a cloud solution for our infrastructure, managing our infrastructure, rather than bringing in the.
he is moving to a cloud infrastructure.
He is, okay, okay.
And I think, I know we're already backed up on the cloud. All of our PCs are,
Okay,
and we really don't have a lot of quote unquote infrastructure servers or water services offsite. We use their servers.
that's why I wasn't quite clear. I'm like, what are we bringing racks in for? Okay, that makes sense.
The racks are just for our switches and routers, things like that. We can't use the CIRVN rack. That's just for the CIRVN equipment. So I think you thought, Joe, the racks are probably only $500.
Yeah,
They're not very expensive. So
yeah.
I don't know what cabling costs now for, I guess it's not even Cat, what is it, Cat 6 now is good wiring.
If you want that, yeah. I mean, my issues with the whole thing, I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it or anything, you know, what we have works. Their quote was like all zeros, and then $9,000 bottom, don't like that. I mean, tell me how much labor you're thinking it's gonna cost and stuff like that. The other comment I'd make is that we're pretty close to budget time. And you know, I mean, since what we have working, I mean, we could I'd almost rather have see us push this to at least budget time, where we can see if we got $9,000 left somewhere, right? We want to spend $9,000 on new wires, let's make sure we don't need it for, you know, a drainage project or something first. And I know 9,000 is the ton, but it's also not little.
Right.
So I mean, I'd like to see us make these kind of decisions at budget time for so close if we could, but I'm not against it or anything either. Everybody else wants it. We're okay with it.
Kathy?
Infrastructure projects such as that would qualify for STEP.
Okay, so that's a possible way we could finance it if we don't have we wanted to use to.
I've said before that. Thank you, Gabby.
Cat 6 it is.
All right, so I need to define whether or not you guys are serious about doing this thing. Putting the paperwork with Tim.
If we pay for it, that'd be bored. I just want, if we have to pay for our debit fund, I just want to make sure we don't need the $9 grand, $10 grand or something else. It would be real nice if we quoted the extra listed. What's the money for? I don't like the quote at all.
So, you put it together quickly at my request. So I know there's a lot of zeros in it.
It's all zeros except the total.
Yeah.
It's like, these zeros don't total the $4 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will have him come next week, Monday night, which will be February 12th, 6 o'clock. We'll meet at the water department, start there. Okay. Next on my agenda is the DCO grant that the state said we were getting, a $50,000 grant. I got contacted by one of our state senators, and he said the grant was not intended for Hudson. It was supposed to go to Hudson Township. Township had been talking to the state about trying to secure some funding for improving the road between Hudson and the Lake Road, going north out of town. We've had twice in the last 5 years or so that Interstate 39 has been closed between Hudson and the Lake Road. And all the traffic has been rerouted through Hudson and then on that country road road going north. That country road is pretty narrow for semis to be. So Mike's been working on getting federal funding and state funding to get all the work done for that. So, unfortunately, I told our senator that I knew our trustees and everyone was gonna be a little disappointed that, we weren't getting any of this money. But it is gonna go to a project which will benefit the village as well as people that drive through the area. So it's not, by any means, I think it's a good way to, good investment of the money.
So Dave, is the road coming from the out, village limits?
No, it will be all the way from, Franklin.
From the two-way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once they, I don't think
Yeah.
that's us.
Yeah, it'll go all the way through. So. And they do have a package, I'll pass this around. Denny, did I give you a copy of this? No. This is an updated package, I think I got a package from Mike a year or two ago, what they were doing, and it's pretty simple, that road needs improved.
So it includes sidewalks or anything? No?
I don't think that part is designed yet. Be sweet.
All your digging stuff.
Yep. County requires it, so.
Is there anything on the Village of Hudson's portion of that road, water-wise, that we can fix any pipes under that road, anything that we could prep in advance for when they're gonna come, so when they tear up the road, we can fix the pipe real quick before they put the road back in, we're not paying that cost then?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any maintenance that we have to do or problems we have to fix on that road, Denny. Are you aware of anything?
There is, between Franklin Street and, North Street is all some of those, transite mains that will all be on the schedule to need to be replaced at some point. So right now, currently, they are not underneath the road other than at the intersection. So depending upon how the road is reinvented, that would all be a potential problem, as Mitchell alluded to, that if we had a break, or if that would need to be a new main installed there, which I think is probably in the long-term plan, the road would have to be dug up to access all those services on the main, which would be a lot of extra cost.
Obviously, yeah, anything that we can do to piggyback along with that.
Yeah, just as we're planning as a board, we should probably just keep that in the back of our mind. I don't know what their timetables are, probably not anytime soon,
No,
at least that they would get to town, but.
they've been working on financing for a couple of years now, so
What do you think the time frame is, Dave?
at least a year or two,
Year or two?
and it might be 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot to look at coming in from the city limits to all the way to Franklin.
Yeah.
We got a lot to look at what we would need to do prior, before, I mean, we would say yes on it. I mean, not that we wouldn't accept the money, but, we want to make sure what money we got approved for, it would cover the cost of the road, and, if we could get, things done prior to the all night.
Oh, yeah, or prior or during.
Well,
They direct the road and we go put deeper and put in new water lines.
and that's gonna put us under the gun, too, as far as getting that stuff done, and if it's gonna be at our cost, we're gonna have to plug those numbers into the budget.
Yeah.
In order to, fix, water lines, or even if it's just personal water line going from the existing main to the house. I mean, again, you're gonna have a lot to deal with when you're talking, if there's gonna be curb and gutter coming through there and all the road. I hate to see that have to be all tore up. I think, we've got a lot of discussion to do.
And then, like I said, they haven't got any engineering work done yet, so.
Right.
So not sure there won't be anything in the
It's
next.
gonna be something that could be brought to our attention, what could be done, it's just not gonna happen, right?
Right.
Right, and we would have to say whether or not we wanna progress with it.
Okay. They'll work with us. That township has worked with us quite well.
If,
do what they want to do.
So is the full cost of the road, is that not gonna be our cost, the village's cost from that intersection going north, right? Or
Correct.
we don't have to pay any cost for the road.
That's the plan. I mean, there's nothing in black and white yet.
From the city limits.
No.
From the,
Right.
from Franklin going north,
And they just do it.
cost for our village, for the road portion.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Okay.
But like I said, we want to make sure that we've got that covered, that all of a sudden we don't have too many costs covered because they were short on.
Short of funding or something, if it hadn't, then we have a road that needs to.
Exactly. We can't pull that out of the air.
Right.
And I don't know how that's going to affect our drainage or, you know, like Danny said, the water mains that go underneath the street, that we gotta replace them. That would be an opportune time.
You know, what you're talking about too, Dave. I mean, you're talking about the drainage there, everything now goes into the ditches, as far as drainage and then absorbed into the ditches. So when you get curb and gutter, then you're gonna have a direct route from the corporate limits all the way, well, to the creek. It'll probably take the water directly from a inlet right to the creek. So that's gonna put added water in that creek at the bottom of Broadway. So it's something to be looked into too, because we've already got, you know, some citizens concerned that we're dumping a lot of water into that creek. So we're gonna have to, I'm not against it, but I just wanna make sure we got our bases covered.
You're saying some water that we run off into the dirt would end up just funneling into the creek directly because of the curbing stuff.
And the curb and gutter, they'll put in actual inlets and direct pipe.
Right.
I'm assuming, wouldn't you, Denny?
Yeah.
They run a pipe directly to the creek,
Right, and right now.
unless they have plans for a, detention basin somewhere they filter to, and I don't think they'd route that over to, East Street, would they? Right, that detention basin?
I don't know, but like in the subdivisions, the water runs down the curb into inlets, and that's all, 100% of that is in the street, is piped to the creek. In Old Town, you know, that rolls off the road into the ditch and has a chance to soak into the grass and is not a direct route to the creek. Anywhere where there's curb and gutter, there's no soaking in, it's all directly stormwater, so that would be a lot of added water.
Good point.
Yeah.
So the township will be doing all the paperwork for the DCO grant, and Mike will keep us updated, where they're at with that project. Okay, next item on my agenda is the EMA position and the EMA ordinance, and I sent an email out to everybody. I haven't got anything back from Pat yet. Pat did tell me he was gonna be late tonight.
He's here. He's here now.
Okay. The EMA ordinance right now, hi Pat. The EMA ordinance that we have today states that the township and village go together and name the Hudson Fire Chief as the EMA coordinator. The fire chief will not be our EMA coordinator. He is under the gun to get the fire department back and caught up with some stuff. And in most towns, the fire department chief is not the EMA coordinator. So he's told us he doesn't want to be the EMA coordinator. So we have a candidate for EMA coordinator who has gone through a lot of the training. He's gone through I believe there are 4 courses recommended for EMA coordinator to take besides spotter training. And the candidate that I'm going to recommend is Mark Cotty. He's currently our police chief, and I'm going to recommend to the board that we vote Mark Cotty in as our EMA coordinator. I don't want to wait until the ordinance is changed because I don't want to go without an EMA coordinator. So I would like tonight to the board to make a motion and vote Mark Heidi in as our EMA coordinator. And, I'll recommend that, so. Does anybody have any questions or concern about Mark taking that role over?
I just wonder how many hours a week it would be, and it would be during the work year. If it's during the day or what, like you have to spend like 5 hours a week being an EMA coordinator, or what does it mean?
Well, generally what it means, at least as Dave said, would hit the ground running as far as I've already taken all the classes. Years ago, I took all the classes through IEMA that are necessary to be an EMA coordinator. And I do have to take the weather spotter class again because that expired. I was a weather spotter, but I honestly don't know how many hours it would actually take. I don't know.
As long as there's no emergencies, it's maybe a couple hours a week or something. Meeting.
Probably, yes. And there are meetings to attend. Yes, down at the EMA main office there at the county courthouse. So yeah, if we knock on wood and we don't have major disasters, it's probably only a couple hours. Let's hope. But it comes with a big pay raise, right?
Yeah. Our police currently have the ability to set off sirens. And we are also working with the county to give them the ability to set off the sirens, which they don't have today for Hudson. They have it for a lot of the towns in the county, but don't have it for Hudson. We're waiting on a call from an electrician type person who also sells sirens or services sirens, and to see what it would take to change our wiring and everything so that the county would have the ability to set it off as well as us. So that part is kind of on hold, waiting on some more feedback on that. The cost was estimated to be under $500 by Catholic Bank coordinator. So I don't think that'll be a major cost. And we do split any EMA cost with the township. So total 500. We could probably, it would be $250 for the village, $250 for the township. I know, Joe, you did a lot of work on pricing sirens and that for the water tower. We have that meeting with this person. Would you be interested in coming so you can get information on sirens?
Yeah, I can dig up what I got in the past.
Okay, so we'll let you know where that is. You should involved with that too. So. Can't vote on changing the EMA ordinance tonight, but I do want to go ahead and make sure the board agrees that Mark would be a good EMA person. I'm guessing if there aren't any storms, you're looking at maybe an hour or two a month.
Hey, I have a question. Is there any conflict of interest between Hudson Police Chief and EMA coordinator? I don't know of any that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'm just.
Matter of
I don't
fact,
know.
the county EMA person thought that Mark, police chief would be a good person to do.
That works.
So, perfect. Yeah. So is there anybody on the board that will make a motion?
Yeah. I'll make a motion that, Mark Cottage, would be the EMA
I have
coordinator.
to change my business.
Okay, so we have a second.
I'll second that.
Can we amend the motion saying that we nominate him in the assumption that we update the ordinance? Because if it's against the ordinance, we can't nominate him. You know what I'm saying? So in the motion, can we just make it?
Okay, how about we amend it by making it temporary
Confirm it, yeah.
until the ordinance gets changed? Because we don't want to go without an EMA.
Yes, so like maybe would it be like an intro?
Yeah.
EMA?
Until the ordinance gets
Okay,
changed.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that Chief Cotty would be the interim EMA coordinator in the village of Hudson.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
All right, do we have any final discussion or questions? Now we'll do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Martin. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
You're welcome.
The ordinance does say that the EMA coordinator can appoint people join on his, you may staff if he so sees fit. So
Mhm.
there is storm spotter training on March 13th.
Yeah.
I plan to go. I don't know if any of the trustees are interested in going. Aaron said he would bring it up at the fire meeting and get it out to the firemen. A few of them have had spotter training, but not very many. So if any of you are interested or know anyone that might be interested in going to the storm spotter training, there's some coming up in March. I think it comes up every year.
Yeah.
So
Every year.
if you'd like to go, please let me know. Well, we'll make sure we coordinate on everything. Okay. The next item on my agenda is the approval of the 2024 board meeting dates. I think the dates are good. They're always the first Tuesday except for November, where we have, the list shows primary election. It's actually general election in November. So before we get those posted, I want to change that word, but we need approval from the board to have that be our meeting schedule for 2024. So somebody makes a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 board meeting dates.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? Not a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. That is the end of my agenda. Denny, you're up with water, public property, streets and zoning.
Water usage, 2.4 million, 79,000 a day. I think this is maybe under Phil's section, but working on the list of MFT projects for the year. I sent out an email to all of you. I think you got the budget, so I think we'll be doing that later on. Today, Rich and Mike and myself did the final, added the final component of the water system upgrade there, removing the old clay valve, the control mechanism for filling the tower. And so we're 100% on the new way. And so everything's been working great ever since we started that. So hopefully this week, with Sarah being busy with the budget, that we can sit down and write like a little addition to our water Bible on for anybody other than myself or Mark that knows how to run that system. They'll be able to come in and get out the water Bible and read through how to adjust things that may need to be adjusted in a case that one or both of us is not available. Also, we had our fair share of ice this last month, and I used a lot of ice in a couple days, or a lot of snow on the ice in a couple days. And Rich and Mike were both big helps. That Mark, not so much from sunny Florida, but good for him for being there. The snowplow is something I'm going to be looking at for budget. Is one of them is kind of starting to have several problems, and so looking at some of that as well. And that's all I really have.
Does anyone have any questions for Denny? Thank you, Denny. Great job on the roads. Appreciate going through all the salt. Made things a lot safer. And thank you guys for all your hard work, really long hours. And once again, I think you've done a great job on the roads. So thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is our village marshal, Officer Cobb.
All right, so you have the typed up statistics. You can see the top part is the hard statistic and then the narrative. You can see that, some of our traffic stops have gone up from the previous month, simply because we had a lot of, during the storm and during the inclement weather, there were people that didn't have their headlights on, they're driving too fast for conditions and that. So, you can see we took 2 criminal damage to the property reports. We responded, a big accident we had was we responded to a personal injury accident, rollover in the 600 block of Hayden Drive.
How they manage that?
Well, according to the witnesses, and there were numerous witnesses, and the driver himself, he was a very young, inexperienced, and simply got into some slush. He said, I freaked out and I overcorrected, and he did. And overcorrection took him into the curb sideways and then rolled over and took out the power pole. So, but the good thing is it's just minor injuries and one was seriously hurt. So,
Must have been going too fast though, so.
well, you know, actually, according to the witnesses, and there was a couple witnesses there, were police officers that saw it. Said, no, Mark, he really wasn't driving very fast. Well, said he didn't know what to do when it started to slide. He did actually the opposite of what he wanted to do.
Is that that far corner on Davies, and you go all the way straight?
If you, as you go, like you turned off at East Street, okay, and then onto Haven, and made a right onto Haven, it's that first kind of like curve that curves.
Gotcha, okay.
And by the way, that is not the first time that power pole has been taken out by somebody going off the curb.
I heard that. And so
I don't know. Maybe you might want to move the
So we gotta
pole.
move the power pole or something?
that's what I wondered if there was a danger.
Unfortunately, that was not a pole that had a burned out street light. So,
Now it is.
yeah. We did our usual details. You can see the stop sign details in that in the school bus. We tend to rotate it now. You got pavings, you got Purdy, you got school buses. We just like to keep an eye on them, make sure no one's violating the stop on those school buses. We assisted the county with a personal injury accident on Ron Smith Memorial Highway. That was during that icy storm period. And we did assist, of course, with people that were in the ditches and those types of things. We're just inundated with calls. So the state was tied up, county deputies were tied up. So we'll go out to the county and we'll also assist and go up on the interstate too. And so we did numerous assists with that just to stand by until they got towed out of the ditch. The officer that we swore in last month, Jeannie Lacey, she's currently in training with Officer Lane. She's doing well. I can't tell you exactly when she'll be on her own totally yet. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna see. I know that when she trains with Officer Lane on Friday, she will be in control of the squad car. She'll be driving it, and he will just simply be there to ride. She will actually be kind of like on a solo. We'll see how she does on solo. So. And then you can see the attached street light report. We have 5 that are out. So we'll send an email to Ameren and we'll keep up with. Any questions? Oh, one thing I did want to say, I had an Axon phone meeting. That was to talk about the initial installation of the new camera system for the Rolling Squad. And that will probably happen in late March when we schedule with the technicians, and they'll be out here and it'll take them a full day to go all through squad cars. So I don't have any problems with cars. But that was initially a setup to the initial training on how we're going to operate, and then we'll have some hands-on training also, while the technicians are also here. So hopefully then in April, will be the first month that we'll actually be live with our body cams and our new Axon camera systems. cloud-based system, great system.
We don't know of anything we need to buy here for that. Yeah.
Right, we bought everything, and when we approved the purchase, you saw that 5-year, it's like a contract, 5-year contract. So there's money that you pay every year for it, but that was already discussed and approved. Yeah. But, no, there's really nothing here because it's all great, it's cloud-based. So, and it's constantly, as long as there's a signal, phone signal, it just constantly uploads into the cloud.
Thank you, Mark. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
None, thanks, Mark. Next is our civil defense director. Did the storm sirens go off? Do we know?
Yes, they did actually.
Okay. So. Next is reports from our trustees on standing committees. Lynn is not here tonight. Did anybody have anything for Lynn? Now we'll move on to streets. Trustee Phil Morris.
Well, I would just,
Oh,
I mean, not for Lynn, but Lynn, I already spoke with Lynn. And she said that she could go and she had to list something in mind. Oh, I'm sorry. So I can just do it. It's listed in the police agenda, but it's actually per area, so I can wait for that.
wait, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin. All right, Phil?
Okay, I've got a couple of things this evening. First of all, hats off to Denny, and his crew for taking care of the roads so nicely. I know he used a lot of salt, but I think, I hear a lot of good things from citizens that, roads are well taken care of. I agree. I sent you a couple of emails on that, and so really appreciate it. Yeah. I guess the first thing I'd like to do is, Denny had sent out to all the trustees a copy of our MFT motor fuel tax, for this year. Our engineer, Patrick Meyer has helped, along with Denny's help, has gotten our, contractor resolution together for this year. If you all have a chance to go over it, I don't know if it meant anything to you, but if you've got any questions, I guess now'd be the time to ask. Between Denny or I, we might be able to help you. I don't know, is Patrick?
He is on, yeah.
So our engineer, Patrick, and our attorney, Pat, are both on Zoom, so if you had any questions for fuel tax, you can ask Patrick at this time. Anybody have any questions? Okay, so, the resolution for this year's MFT is in the amount of $90,000. Now, that's what the resolution's for, and then the projects are listed out on page, it would be like page 3 here of the contract, if you're looking at it on your computers. It breaks down the projects, and those are projected costs, but it doesn't mean we've got to do all the projects. So if we don't do the project or a portion of, then we just turn in those bills. And the rest of the money then at the end of the year are put into a fund that we have for the motor fuel tax. And at current, I believe our fund is up to like 251,000 is the last figure I saw. Now, where we really get into those funds over and above what we get each year, we get in, we were doing some resurfacing of some of the blacktop roads in a different way than what we've done this last year. So it was a little more expensive, and it really required extra money over and above what we were getting each year in the motor fuel tax fund. So we keep a pretty good fund in there if possible, and look forward to see what we've got for the upcoming years. So this year we've got $83,850 in projected cost. And then on top of that would go, the engineering fees. And it looks like that's approximately $2,900 to $3,000 based on this amount of money. So if nobody's got any questions on it, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code for a sum of $90,000.
We have a motion to accept the resolution for MFT. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any final questions or discussions for Pat or Patrick or Bill? First of all, Patrick, thanks for being able to join us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
There are no questions. This vote requires a individual voice vote. So Allison?
Joe Boyd,
Yes.
Kevin Kelly,
Yes.
Bill Morris,
Yes.
Natalie Shoemaker, Mitchell Tilke.
Yes. Thank you.
I apologize. I think I have to have 3 or 4 copies of that resolution printed out, and I think Allison and possibly Dave have to sign that. So when I get that all printed out, I'll send an email to you guys to let you know they're up there in your box on the front desk.
Give mine to Sarah and I'll come up and sign.
Okay, my next item, Sarah had asked me if I would cover for, Lynn tonight and give her, the figures on moving funds for our contract costs for the IT expenses that, we had voted on. And, Sarah's come up with some figures, and I believe you worked with Mark and Denny.
Yeah, I talked to both of them about what they didn't plan to spend for the rest of the year. And we were able to find the money within our budget, just needed to move it to the new line item, which is what Pat McGrath had said would be okay to do.
From my understanding, these IT expense, line items now are 2 new line items.
Yes, there'll be new line items of IT expense that we'll have.
One will go into one new one, and the other 3 will go into the other.
Yeah, depending on which fund it came from, depends on which one it goes into. So, yes.
Okay, does anybody have anything to discuss on that? I believe Sarah sent that to everybody.
Mhm.
As far as where she's pulling the expenses from the line items and moving them into the IT expense account.
Did you say there were gonna be 2 new expense? One is
According to this,
Yeah, right now, they're labeled as computer upgrade. Their new title will be IT expense, since we will now have that every month. That'll be the new title to those 2 lines in our budget.
Okay, so we have computer upgrade.
Yes, it's already in
The
there.
new one is the IT.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's 1 new.
It'll be 2, because it's in water fund and general fund,
Okay.
which is in which we could take out of both. So yeah, so we'll have to have 2 for that reason.
that's why I was asking.
Yeah,
There were gonna be 2.
there'll be 2, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, I guess I'll just have to read everything.
I don't know.
Allison, just gonna hand you that. Okay, so there is a.
Hey,
how we're
Bill.
gonna move this.
I don't think you have to read the account number or just the name of the
I
account.
think just the name.
Just the name of the account.
And
Name
maybe
of the account.
amount of money.
Okay,
Oh, Pat's trying to talk.
So we can do the line item transfers. It's an easier process, but we still have.
Here. Yeah.
You're on mute, Pat.
No, I'm not on mute.
Do you know Simon?
Sarah's checking, because we can't hear them.
I'm not sure what's going on there. Hold on. No idea why.
he's gonna come say, but-
Okay, in the
Owl is
meantime, while we're
on.
waiting, why don't you read both? And by the time we get him working,
Just
you'll have it all
what
ready.
is it?
Let me look.
Okay, we're gonna move to line item.
Oh, he said we have to do a written resolution to approve line item transfers. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so give me a list of the transfers and he can do the resolution. So,
Put it in a resolution form, Pat. I can't. tell you.
yeah, sounds like if I send him the resolution, If I send him the line items, he'll put it into a resolution and then we can vote on it next month. Is that correct, Pat? Okay.
Yeah.
Or the budget, you know, whatever, we can vote it. I'll send it straight to Pat. Yep.
So this 7150 though is just to pay the yearly contract, is that what this money is for?
It'll cover the monthly and the inventory, which is an extra cost as well. So that'll get us through the end of the year and then next year we'll budget for it. It'll get us through this fiscal year, yeah.
We paid for the phone change differently, separately, didn't we? We already proved that because.
That was approved, but there's no cost to that yet. He's just got phones for us to kind of play with right now. And then once that starts, we'll transfer over the other phones and that's just a monthly bill of a phone charge.
The monthly charges will decrease, the expense there will be the new IP phones.
That'll be about a savings of about 330 a month. Like going to the,
I don't know if we need any new switches or not for that, I don't think so, they should be able to work out of the existing switches.
Cell phones, their computer phones, or those are part of it.
actual phones.
We had talked before too, that we take the IT stuff from the interest from the loans. Is that money just gonna go to the general fund instead?
It will just go to the general fund and the water fund because we couldn't technically do it that way without having to do a lot of different things.
So there's nothing else I would have to do on this, right?
Not right now, nope.
No, and we already, I think Pat explained last meeting that we could go ahead and pay this and do the resolution coming up. So we'll proceed that way. Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance and zoning. Mitchell?
You covered all the items I was gonna cover during your portion, and we kind of been working on that together, so I don't have anything for tonight. I may come hopefully next meeting when we have the planning commission members and a bunch of stuff to update. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't trying to steal anything from you, as stuff we're.
No problem at all.
Right now it's in my lap.
No problem at all. I appreciate it.
Okay, next is police trustee Kevin.
First thing that we have is I was trying to coordinate a solicitor meeting with the police committee last month and I messed up and got some wrong dates, so I thought you would be best when all four people are here. So, Natalie and Mitchell, Chief Cotty and myself on the police committee, so just like you, since everybody's here, schedule a meeting so we can discuss the solicitors. Ordinance.
You guys are doing that thing on Monday, the 12th, with Dave. You want to do Monday at 4:30?
That would be, good. That'd be about, Chief.
Yeah.
That work?
Sure, that's fine. This Monday at 4:30.
Monday the 12th.
The 12th.
Oh, Monday at 12, okay.
And those are scheduled, just, no more than an hour.
Yep.
So it would be on, and, so.
Yeah, so it's the 12th at what time?
Yeah, so it'd be, police committee meeting on February 12th at 4 p.m. at the police building.
4 or
We're gonna have the
4:30?
meetings back to back, so you don't have to
You know,
leave.
so yours is at 6, right?
Mine was at 6.
So if you did 5, that'd give you an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
So do you want 5 o'clock?
Yeah,
Okay.
then we have to break for an hour and do that.
I'll get that posted.
5 p.m. February 12th. Thank you. And, the second item, and this is what I talked to, Len about, talked to the mayor, and I already spoke with Sarah and Mark about it. And, to discuss, I found out that the police department wasn't signing their time cards, and, I talked to Mark and Sarah about it. I think they kind of worked that out so that they're now signing, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of the reason why I had this on here, just to make a requirement that all employees sign and prove their employee payroll time submissions. And it's, accountability consistent with all other employees. There was 4 full-time employees. multiple, part-time just to make it consistent. And I think the other discussion that, Pat, McGrath, our attorney, mentioned is to include that into, if we make that a requirement, we should include it into the HR manual. Do that. So, I spoke with Lynn, she said that she was going to be gone. So she said I can discuss it with you, and I think it's pretty reasonable. Have it. So, I'm not sure